Harry stared at his Vanguard account balance showing $47,000 sitting in their cash management account. He felt smart, organized, responsible. After all, this was Vanguard, the company that built its reputation on low costs and solid returns. But what Harry didn't know was that his safe choice was quietly costing him over $600 per year compared to alternatives hiding in plain sight. And here's the part that's going to surprise you most. The account that actually wins this comparison isn't the one with the highest APY. In fact, when you dig into the real numbers, some of these high-yield savings accounts have hidden problems that could leave you worse off than where you started. Today we're going to break down exactly how the Vanguard Cash Plus account stacks up against every major alternative, using real data and Harry's $47,000 as our test case. By the end of this video, you will know exactly where your emergency fund should live, and more importantly, which seemingly attractive options you need to avoid. Let's start with what Harry thought he was getting. The Vanguard Cash Plus account promises a 3.65% APY as of May 2025. FDIC insured up to $1.25 million for individual accounts, with zero fees if you opt for electronic statements. On paper, this sounds reasonable. Harry's $47,000 would earn about $1,716 annually. But here's where things get interesting. This account uses what's called a bank sweep program. Your money doesn't actually sit at Vanguard. It gets swept across multiple partner banks like Citibank, Wells Fargo, and American Express Bank. Each bank provides the standard $250,000 FDIC insurance, and by spreading your money across at least 5 banks, Vanguard can offer that $1.25 million total insurance coverage. This sounds sophisticated, but there's a catch that most people miss. You're responsible for monitoring your total deposits at each of these partner banks. If you already have money at Citibank directly, and Vanguard sweeps some of your funds there too, you could accidentally exceed the $250,000 limit at that specific bank. The excess wouldn't be insured. Harry didn't know about this monitoring requirement. Most people don't. The high-yield alternatives that beat Vanguard. While Harry was feeling good about his 3.65%, other cash accounts were quietly offering significantly more. Let's run his $47,000 through the actual top performers. Wealthfront Cash currently offers 4.00% APY with FDIC insurance up to $8 million through their partner bank network. For Harry, that's $1,880 annually, $164 more than Vanguard. But here's what's really impressive. Wealthfront uses up to 32 partner banks in their sweep program, creating massive insurance coverage without the complicated monitoring requirements that trip up most investors. Betterment Cash Reserve also offers 4.00% APY, though their insurance coverage tops out at $2 million for individual accounts. Still, for Harry's $47,000, that's the same $164 annual advantage over Vanguard. The difference comes down to user experience. Betterment requires you to have their brokerage account first, while Wealthfront lets you open just the cash account. Then there's CIT Bank Platinum Savings at 4.10% APY, but only if you maintain at least $5,000. Below that threshold, you're earning just 0.25%. For Harry's $47,000, this would generate $1,927 annually, $211 more than Vanguard. However, CIT is a direct bank with standard $250,000 FDIC coverage, not the extended coverage Harry might want for larger balances in the future. But before you rush to move your money, we need to talk about the option that's beating all of these savings accounts. And it's not what you think. Remember how I said the highest APY doesn't always win? Here's where that becomes crucial. Federal money market funds are currently offering yields that make even the best high-yield savings accounts look mediocre. Vanguard Federal Money Market Fund, VMFXX, is yielding 4.20% with just a 0.11% expense ratio. For Harry's $47,000, that's $1,974 annually, $258 more than the Vanguard Cash Plus account that he thought was his best option at the same company. Vanguard Cash Reserves. Federal Money Market Fund, VMFXX, does even better at 4.21% with a 0.10% expense ratio. The difference is tiny, but every basis point matters when you're talking about substantial emergency funds. Here's what makes this fascinating. Harry could have stayed at Vanguard, achieved higher returns, and accessed better liquidity. Federal money market funds maintain over 50% of their assets in daily liquid securities, meaning redemptions are processed quickly. These funds invest exclusively in short-term U.S. government securities, making them extremely safe. But, and this is important, money market funds are not FDIC insured. They're covered by SIPC up to $500,000, which protects against brokerage firm failure, but not against the fund losing value. While federal money market funds have never broken the buck, fallen below $1 per share, it's theoretically possible. Now we get to the option that's currently beating everything else, and it comes with a tax advantage that most people completely overlook. Treasury bills are yielding 4.293% for 4-week maturities, 4.322% for 8-week, and 4.361% for 13-week as of the latest auctions. For Harry's $47,000, a 13-week T-bill strategy would generate approximately $2,050 annually. But here's the kicker that changes everything. Treasury bill interest is exempt from state and local taxes. If Harry lives in a high-tax state like California or New York, his after-tax yield from T-bills could be significantly higher than any FDIC-insured account, even those offering higher nominal rates. Let's say Harry lives in California with a 9.3% state income tax rate. His after-tax yield from the Vanguard Cash Plus Account would be roughly 3.31%. But the T-bill at 4.361% stays at 4.361% after taxes, a massive difference that compounds over time. T-bills also offer perfect liquidity through the secondary market. You can sell before maturity if needed, though you might face small gains or losses depending on interest rate movements. Before Harry makes his final decision, there are some seemingly attractive options that have problems hiding beneath the surface. Fidelity. Cash management account offers extensive features like debit cards and check writing, but only pays 2.21% APY. For someone prioritizing yield over convenience, this represents a $647 annual opportunity cost compared to T-bills. Schwab Bank. High-yield investor. Checking is even worse at 0.45% APY. While it offers unlimited ATM fee reimbursements worldwide and connects seamlessly to Schwab's brokerage account, the yield is so low that Harry would be giving up over $1,800 annually in potential interest. Some online banks advertise rates above 4%, but when you read the fine print, these are often promotional rates lasting only 3-6 months, or they require complex account relationships that aren't sustainable long-term. What this means for your strategy. Here's where Harry's decision gets interesting, because the best choice depends entirely on his specific situation and priorities. If Harry prioritizes maximum FDIC insurance and wants everything in one place, Wealthfront Cash with its $8 million coverage and 4.00% APY makes sense. The $164 annual advantage over Vanguard plus the superior coverage justifies the move. If Harry is comfortable with government backing instead of FDIC insurance and wants the highest after-tax yield, Treasury bills are clearly superior. The tax savings alone could add hundreds of dollars annually to his returns. If Harry wants to stay at Vanguard but optimize his returns, moving from the Cash Plus account to VMFXX money market fund gives him an extra $258 annually with better liquidity and the same government-backed safety profile. If Harry needs traditional banking features like debit cards and check writing, he'll have to accept lower yields. But he should know exactly what that convenience is costing him, potentially over $1,500 annually. There's one more angle that changes everything for serious investors. Harry isn't just managing an emergency fund. He's building long-term wealth through dividend investing. His cash allocation needs to work with his overall strategy. If Harry is regularly moving money between cash and investments, having his emergency fund at the same brokerage as his investment accounts creates operational efficiency. Vanguard's money market funds start looking more attractive when you consider the seamless transfers to buy dividend stocks or ETFs during market dips. But if Harry's emergency fund is truly set-aside money that won't be touched except for genuine emergencies, then maximizing the yield through T-bills or Wealthfront makes perfect sense. The key insight is that your cash management strategy shouldn't exist in isolation. It should complement your broader financial freedom plan. After running all the numbers, Harry made a surprising choice. He split his strategy. He moved $25,000 to Wealthfront Cash for the 4.00% APY and massive FDIC coverage. This covers 6 months of expenses with room to grow, and the higher yield saves him $87 annually compared to Vanguard. The remaining $22,000 went into a T-bill ladder, buying 4-week, 8-week, and 13-week Treasury bills on a rotating basis. The tax-free state income advantage, combined with the 4.3% plus yields, generates an additional $140 annually compared to his original Vanguard setup. Harry's total annual improvement, $227. That might not sound like much, but compounded over a decade, it's over $2,500 in additional wealth, money that would have been left on the table with his original safe choice. By the way, if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Harry Bull Run for more data-driven investing insights. And drop a comment below. Are you team high-yield savings, money market funds, or treasury bills for your emergency fund? The Vanguard Cash Plus account isn't bad. It's just not optimal for most situations. At 3.65% APY, it's middle of the pack in a world where 4% plus yields are readily available with similar or better safety profiles. The real lesson from Harry's analysis is that financial institutions count on customer inertia. They know most people will stick with their first choice, even when better options exist. But small differences in interest rates compound into substantial wealth over time. Whether you choose Wealthfront for maximum FDIC insurance, T-bills for tax advantages, or federal money market funds for government backing, the key is making an intentional choice based on your specific needs rather than defaulting to whatever account your current provider offers. Your emergency fund might be the most boring part of your portfolio, but optimizing it properly sets the foundation for everything else you're trying to achieve. Because at the end of the day, every extra dollar your cash generates is another dollar working toward your financial freedom. Remember, the best thing money can buy is financial freedom. And that journey starts with making sure every dollar, even your emergency fund, is working as hard as possible.